Our crowd's getting smaller and smaller. Evidently, we lost yesterday. Um, Another disappointing loss. There's no other way to put it. Another game that we had opportunities. There are some good things happening behind the scene and maybe don't show up in the win-loss column. Where we played offensively. Thought that was our most productive day, as I said yesterday. The video said that. Running the ball, of course, getting our passing game going. A lot of good things to like. We didn't finish still the way we would like to. Of course, interception was big at the end, jumping off sides. But there were too many other positive things that happened throughout. Defensively, I thought we played pretty good right up until the last drive of the first quarter of the first half. Giving up that touchdown pass gave them momentum and never really recovered. Of course, the fourth quarter was really bad ball for us, which kind of leads to a loss. We missed a field goal early on, but I thought for the most part special teams kind of hung in there. So that's where we are. We'd like to be talking, of course, on a win, but when you are disappointed, you like going into the division. We haven't, of course, it's been the last division opponent we haven't played, so we're excited about playing them. I think they have a 4-game winning streak going right now. Both of our games last year were pretty competitive. So take your question.
When you had a chance to review, look at some of the throws that Davis made, did you see him doing some things that you guys have been coaching and he put into practice in this game?
Well, I think my comments have been Davis Mills has been getting better and better each week. My comments have been, maybe we haven't thrown for 500 yards each week, but we've seen growth from him, and that continues throughout. He made some tough throws yesterday, like his pocket presence, checking the ball down, just keeping us in the game, what an NFL quarterback should do. So I like the way he led us on the offensive side. Again, we didn't play a complete game. Most quarterbacks in the NFL don't. But we have some issues we need to clean up. But, the quarterback position is not it.
Do you have any more updates on the evaluation of Nico Collins and Malik Collins and how much they'll be out?
Yeah, but, I normally kind of wait for Wednesday to talk on those things. You can probably see why. If a guy goes down, it's not a good thing. We had some injuries in the game. Those guys that you mentioned, I don't know exactly who all you said right now, but we'll get to Wednesday. I'll talk more about injuries then. I think that's probably fair.
With Nico and Malik specifically in those spots, how crucial is their spot in those depths?
That's a better question I can answer. Both important positions. Nico's position, of course, is he has become more and more part of what we've been doing offensively. And that production has been big for some of the growth that we've made offensively. And for Malik, and that was the case for Nico. For Malik, he's our 3 technique. Everything starts up front, and the defensive line, the engine of the defensive line, is a 3 technique position. Playing without him, I think he had 10 plays yesterday. So that hurt us a lot. You can trace some of our problems, yet we had yesterday to a player like that not being out there.
On those same lines, you were missing Jonathan Grenard. His injury, was that new, like sustained in practice, or was that the one he had before?
No, in practice.
Okay. And also, not having him, how has that possibly negatively affected your pass rush?
Well, it's, we talk about Malik. He's our 3 technique. Jonathan, one of our best defensive linemen, defensive ends, rushing. It affects everything. Of course, pass rush, you need pass rushers to get pressure on the quarterback. You need pass, but you need defensive ends to play the run too. If those guys aren't able to go, and of course Jonathan wasn't able to go, we're not as good a football team with him, period. Especially not as good a defense without.
The offense probably had its best game on 3rd down, but it's something you've been wanting to
I'm sorry?
On third down?
Yes.
Probably one of the better games, if not the best game on third down. When you look at the film, what do you think the difference was yesterday?
I'm still kind of drifting in and out a little bit. You said who?
Third down conversion.
Just third downs. I thought there was one person you had mentioned. My bad on that. Overall, offensively, what I say the reason was for it? I think we have to, like we normally do, kind of start with the quarterback position. A lot of things that's going wrong. We kind of talk about that a little bit, but favorable third down situations too has to help a little bit. Just being more productive on first and second down but still it comes down. In ideal world, you want to be third and manageable, but gets to third down, you got to be able to convert on it, and that does keep drives going. But yesterday we were able to, I thought, just sustaining drives. Of course, third downs were part of it, but all throughout I thought we were in pretty good control. And you get to third down, that's playmaker time too. And, of course, Nico, Brandon, guys have stepped up, but Jordan Akins too. Our tight end has really gotten involved in making big plays with that also.
Well, they've been setting up that three tight end kind of jumbled look for a couple of games and run a play out of it yesterday. How do you kind of explain through Pep's play calling how that kind of went along and seeing that it seems like there was some success out of that? I'm just curious what your thoughts were on it.
Well, just looking at, okay, who do we need to get involved? And we can lean a lot of different ways. 3 receivers more. We've gone to our 22 package a little bit, but that 3 tight end personnel grouping, looking at it from a defensive point of view, how do you play it? Third downs, how do you play it? Just in general. A lot of times if you keep base people on the field defensively, we think our matchup is a little bit better because Jordan Akins, Brevin, those guys, they're listed as tight ends, but their skill set's a little bit different. So I think it's a package that will continue to grow, and it can be good. We've had a little success with it. We look for ways to be successful, that's for sure.
I know yesterday you said that Christian Harris, you hope to see him play a little better since
Yes.
this first game. When you looked at the film, what were some of the positives that you saw?
Well, just first game, just a first game for any athlete, any professional player. I thought we saw a lot of that. Thought he got better and better. There are some flash plays that we really like. And I go back to when I initially started talking about all of the rookies that played for the first time. We talked about flash plays, some plays that give us hope later on. We had a lot of those for Christian Harris yesterday. I like a lot of things that he did. He didn't grade out like he will grade out later on, but saw him run around, be aggressive, be physical, taking on lead blockers, a few tackles. He'd like to have a couple tackles back, and then just blending into the game. So we gave him a limited package this past week, and hopefully we'll continue to grow that.
Coach, after the game yesterday, you talked about gap integrity, guys being out of position a little bit defensively. After going back and looking at the film, were there things that the Raiders were maybe doing offensively that prevented the defense from maintaining that integrity, movement? What did you see on film after looking at it?
I think if we talk about gap integrity, it's the same thing each week. You have to have good gap integrity, gap discipline in your gaps, and if you don't, one person being out of it can cause you to give an explosive run. In that case, did we have some of those yesterday? Yes, but I've also talked about if that happens, it's just not one wave of defense that we have. We don't play zero coverage, so there should be a second line of defense. That also broke down a few times yesterday too. So, I mean, that's what it was. And a great running back. You had to give him credit. I mean, he's rushed for. It's not the first good game Jacob has had. He's a good running back, but a few of those runs are kind of unacceptable for us.
Take a few more.
Dare Agumbawale, I know the last drive, I mean, the defenses might be playing you differently in that kind of situation, but what did you see from him? Does he earn a little bit more to, I know that third down back that's there kind of, it's a lot of a receiving. What things did you see from him, and does he deserve kind of more looks now?
Well, you're right. They're playing differently, but they had 11 guys over there They were trying to stop us from moving the ball down the field. So I think you had to go on what we saw. And what we did see is production from Dare. He's been waiting patiently for an opportunity, and he got it yesterday, and he had some flash plays that caught all of our attention a little bit. So we believe and we go on what we see out there once a player gets an opportunity for a few more carries, and he took advantage of his yesterday.
Lovie, follow up on one of the matchups we talked about before the game with Titus Howard against Max Crosby. Did you feel like Titus held up? You felt pretty good about his performance?
Yes, I did. And as I said, offensively, for the most part, we had a lot of winning performances on the offensive side of the football. But starting up front, yes, Titus, we knew going in who had the toughest chore, tackles against their defensive ends, and I thought both of them held up pretty good throughout. They gave, as we talk about some of the things that our running back did, Damon did yesterday, some of the plays that Davis was able to make. It kind of started up front first. I thought we had pretty good protection.
2 or 3 more. What were your thoughts on? I briefly talked about it when I asked you about Grenard, but how much of yesterday's game was, Derek Carr gets the ball out quickly versus you all not getting to the quarterback like you would have wanted to?
I mean, that's an easy question for me to answer. I mean, it's you play a quarter going in. We knew what kind of quarterback he was, and I mean, I've talked about. I mean, I think he's one of the better ones that's playing, and we knew that he does get rid of the ball. But it's about a pass rush always, no matter who you're playing on the other side. And our pass rush hasn't lately been exactly what we need it to be, and we're looking for ways to improve that. Losing 2 of your better players didn't help that case, but it's an opportunity for some of our other players to step up and, just inside. Now we're talking about Jonathan outside. We have our defensive ends. I mean, Jerry, Mario, Obo. I mean, Rasheen. We had our defensive ends playing. I think, just that inside, the guys closest to the quarterback can affect him as much as anything, especially when he's getting the ball out. And that wasn't good enough yesterday, starting with that.
You mentioned you were talking about Christian Harris earlier and how you were preparing him for one position. Obviously, linebacker was one of your deeper groups going into the season. How are you kind of approaching using the rest of that group on the field, finding them places in Harris's fit in the defense now?
It's pretty simple how we do it. I mean, who are our best options that we feel like we can be successful with defensively? And if that person if we think that he's one of them, we'll find ways to get him on the field. I would say Christian Harris is one of those guys, and we found a way to start the process yesterday, and he didn't do anything yesterday to say we should give him less. To me, he did things to say we should give him more.
Good.
Thank you.